Hello there everybody, Sam's Trains here and welcome back to the railway. Today I'm about to reveal the very best model locomotives of 2022. I really hope you enjoyed my last video because it's always one of my absolute favourites of the year to film. It's all about poking fun at the very worst ranking models of the year. It's a lot of fun to make, and if you haven't seen it, I'll pop a link up there. Today's video is also one of my absolute favourites of the year to film, but for the opposite reasons. Rather than making fun of the worst locos, today we're going to be celebrating the very best locos, which is arguably even more important. So today's locos are not my favourites of the year. Today's locos are objectively the best in my opinion, according to my reviews. So every loco you see today will have to have aced every one of my review categories. So that's detail, performance, power, mechanism, quality and value. There are loads of locos that I've reviewed this year that absolutely deserve to be among the top 5, but they don't appear there because they just happen to fall down in one category. That one category is usually value, by the way. But if you're interested in what those might be, I will give you some honourable mentions at the end of the video. Also, I promise this is the last thing before we get started, I am filming this video a little early, so there are still some locos that might still arrive this year. So if they do arrive after this video is filmed and they do make it to the top 5 and therefore don't appear in this video, I will include them on next year's ranking so that they have a chance to be in this video next year. Right, let's get started then. Let's start with number 5 of my top 5 model trains of 2022. And that is this, the Bachmann 03 Shunter. You would not expect anything special from this loco. It's a very standard looking, seemingly basic shunter. But when you look up close, you start to notice the level of care and love and detail that has been put into this model, which is why this is so amazing. In the rating, this came out with a score of 8.79 out of 10, and it scored 4 or more stars in every single category. This loco is an absolute all-rounder, and here's why. The paintwork and decoration are excellent, they're very intricate, and the wasp striping and other paintwork looks absolutely awesome. There's loads of detail here as well. It's got the separately fitted electric lamps. It's got etched detailing, including this area around the steps, which just looks so good. It's unbelievable. It's even got a driver in the cab, which is a rare feature, yet absolutely great to see. And of course, it does have sprung buffers. The mechanism is also faultless as well. Not only is it a high quality mechanism, but it's also really easy to service as well, which always gets extra points from me. So the base keeper plate is very easy to remove. You can see we've got fully separately fitted bearings on all of the driving axles. It's got fantastic chassis design with a good quality coreless motor which works excellently. It's got interior cab lights and also great gearing too. So the loco runs at a great speed, not too fast, not too slow. The performance itself is a genuine 5-star. The crawl is excellent, it's so smooth and reliable, and it's decently powerful as well. The quality can also not be faulted. It was put together so well. It's got the die-cast running plate, which makes it decently heavy. And to top it all off, the price for this was reasonable as well. The RRP is a tiny bit steep, maybe £129.95. Still not that bad though when you consider what you get here, yet I paid less than £100 for this. Fantastic model, maybe it looks quite unassuming, but it still absolutely deserves to be here in the top 5. Locomotive number 4 is from new manufacturer Accurascale, who took the entire industry by storm with their first ever locomotive, just by virtue of its quality, its detail and everything else you can think of. The locomotive is, of course, the Class 55 Deltic. And this loco scored 8.90 out of 10, slightly higher than the 03 as it scored 5 on detail and value, which are 2 heavily rated categories in my rating system. Most parts of this model are impressive to be fair, but it's really the detail and the attention to detail that made this one particularly stunning. The paintwork and decoration is sublime. It's got a great quality finish to it overall. Very, very complex decoration with many separately fitted parts which are separately painted as well, and masses of cab detail. It's quite difficult to take in just how much cab detail there is. The details themselves include a full lighting suite, engine room detail on the interior, so not just cab detail, hundreds of separately fitted parts. I would be willing to bet there are probably hundreds rather than tens on this loco. And these include the etched window wipers, which do look like they're made of metal, real metal chains, and of course sprung buffers. The chassis is also high quality too, with a great mechanism inside. The chassis itself weighs more than any other loco I have on record at 806 grams. It's got a really simple DCC fitting solution which negates the need to disassemble the loco in order to chip it. That's a great little feature. And it also has all of the usual quality features such as proper bearings and a powerful motor. So this is one of the most complex and detailed locos available in the industry, yet it is far from being one of the most expensive. These were available for £160. No messing around with fake RRPs, which are just inflated prices and you get them cheaper at retailers, but some retailers rip you off by charging RRP anyway. Nothing like that. Accurascale set their prices, and those are the prices wherever you buy their models. How wonderfully fair is that? Makes a lot more sense. £160 for this is just outstanding value in this day and age. This is not a 5 years ago price, this is 2022, and this model just shows what can be done for £160. Other manufacturers, please take note. If the couplings worked better and the crawl was slightly improved, and maybe the quality was a touch better as well, this would have been top of the ranking without a doubt. Well done Accurascale, what an awesome loco. Throughout each year, about once a month, I do go back and revisit older models to produce new and updated reviews just to keep the whole channel fresh. That does mean that there are some older models appearing in my rankings from time to time. But because the standard of new models tends to be so high, it's very rare that we see an older model crop up in the top 5s. But this year it has happened, and this is a loco that is from around 5 years ago, and yet it is still of a sufficient quality and detail to appear here in the top 5. And that loco is this. It is the Hattons P-Class. Now, let me show you why. It scored 8.93 out of 10 with 4s and 5s right across the board. This may be a small locomotive, and it certainly is, but it still packs in an awful lot. The decoration is extremely complex on this one, possibly more than any other of the locos we've seen today. This includes lining on almost every single part, even down to the wheels, look at those wheels, and the buffer housings, which are also intricately lined. The quality detailing includes metal whistles, extremely complex looking Westinghouse pump despite its size, metal looking window frames, detailed cab interior, and of course sprung buffers. Are you noticing a pattern yet? Maybe. The mechanism design is also real quality as well. Again, it's really nice and serviceable, easy to get into it, proper bearings on the axles, more pickups than there are wheels. Yes, that's right, there are 4 pickups on each side, even though there are only 3 wheels on each side. Massive reliability as a result. This loco still has a 5-pole motor, despite its tiny size, and it's got a nice and accessible DCC socket. Together, the components of this mechanism produce possibly the best running tank engine I have ever tested. The crawl is marvellously controlled and slow, really, really good. At the higher speeds, it's still smooth, quiet, reliable, powerful. Every word that you can think of positive to describe the performance of this applies. And everything about it just works, and that includes the couplings. Yep, straight up to rolling stock, it couples perfectly. Very, very good. The value for this loco is untouchable as well. The original price was £99, which yes is a few years old now, but have Hattons increased the price since then? Well, quite the contrary. No, this loco, albeit in a different livery, was available this year for £84, and I think even less in the sale. I'm sure I saw it down to 60 something in the sale. Unbelievable. So yeah, the Hattons P-Class, we will miss them. Hopefully they come back one day. There you go, a very well deserved place number 3. Right, into the top two we go then. The loco in second place comes from Dapol, who is a fantastic manufacturer. They continue to knock it out of the park with their new releases. Locos and models that rival the other manufacturers, but usually at a much lower price. So I want to say thank you to Dapol for continuing to try and make this hobby affordable, and today's loco is a prime example of that. So the loco in second place is this, the Dapol Manaclass, and what a wonderful job they did on this one. We are now into the 9s with 9.09 out of 10 according to my ratings. 3 5-star ratings this time with detail, mechanism and value. So let's talk about that golden trio then. Detail first of all. Well, that was a 5 because of the tremendous finish. Look at that luxurious satin gloss across each component. It's got the realistic looking electroplated safety valve bonnet, very eye-catching painted cab as well. Look how great that looks. The details include metal separately fitted nameplates, detail between the frames, die-cast and very realistic looking wheels, firebox lighting and of course sprung buffers. The internal design of this loco is fantastically innovative as well. There are no visible wires whatsoever. You've just got this intuitive push together loco and tender. You've got the toolless DCC fitting solution whereby the decoder just slots into a drawer in the smoke box and that's it. Very easy, no disassembly required. And you've got the standard quality features such as proper bearings, 5-pole motor and even a flywheel. The performance was fair as well, not the most powerful loco in the world, but it was still very smooth and reliable, capable of a decent crawl and still capable of hauling a reasonable length train. Here in 2022 you'd expect a loco of this quality and detail to cost £200 or more. Yet that was not the case. The RRP for this loco, that's the highest you can expect to see it, was £159.95 and they were available from retailers for £140. Now that is value. Dapol haven't skimped on this loco, it's just as good as anything produced by Bachmann or Hornby, if not better, and yet here it is at £140 at the retailers. Thank you for your service, Dapol. Well done for the fantastic models. Cannot wait to see what you do next. Dapol, everybody. Oh, goodness me. Oh, I can feel a tear. Here we are then in top place, the best locomotive according to my reviews of 2022. To be clear, it is not my favourite locomotive of the year by a long way, but I do think it is the best, objectively speaking. So the locomotive is this. It is the new tooled Bachmann Class 20. And this locomotive was really up against it because the old Class 20 from Bachmann was still a great looking model. It looked great, it ran well. It was always going to be hard for the new Class 20 to improve upon the old one sufficiently to justify a new tooling, and yet the model did. It only lost 2 of 25 stars worth of points across the whole rating, with 5s or 4.5s in detail, performance, mechanism and quality, with even the value scoring 4 out of 5. Why? Because the model is amazing. Check out the crisp decoration on this. All of the grills and the different parts of the body have been separately painted with the utmost precision, and there is just so much going on here with the underframe. Look at all these different painted parts. The handrails have got this high shine chrome plated finish which just looks awesome in my opinion. You've also got etched grills where applicable with a real fan behind them. Great looking lights which look really realistic even when they're switched off, although of course they do work. You've got masses of cab detail yet again, and of course quality metal sprung buffers, and that's a full house. 5 out of 5 of the top locos have sprung buffers. Any loco can be fixed with sprung buffers, folks, any loco. Okay, mechanism then. Really high quality screw based assembly, not just relying on clips to hold this together. That's as it should be with locos at way over £100. well done Bachmann, good move. Proper bearings on the axles, metal bogie chassis, not just cheap plastic. Again, these are expensive models, this is as it should be. You've got quality manufacturing on the inside as well as the outside, no messy soldering inside here, nice chunky 5-pole motor with dual flywheels, and the performance very much matches the quality of the mechanism. The crawl is absolutely great, very good crawl on this one. Nice and smooth and powerful at the high speeds, so a top puller, and it looks very convincing with its lights as well, which are a good brightness and a realistic colour temperature. Now this loco is not particularly cheap with its RRP of £179.95, but because of how great the loco is, I think it's worth every penny. As I always say, high prices are not a problem per se, as long as the locos match the price, and this one does. And that's not to mention the discount that you will get at some retailers, which enabled me to buy this loco for £124.99. And that is why this loco deserved first place. Right, so that is the best in my opinion in terms of objective rating. But what are the best in terms of my favourites? I didn't feel right ending this video without giving some honourable mentions. So, honourable mention number 1, the Hornby Hush Hush. Now that the quality doesn't suck, this loco is fantastic. Very expensive for what it is, still not massively high on quality, but a great loco, a great loco. The other one that I have to mention is the new Bachmann Class 37. I thought this was fantastic. Very similar to the Class 20 in terms of the quality, although again a bit more expensive, so it didn't get such a good score on value. The Hornby Lion was a fantastic loco as well. Again, that was not far off from being in the top 5. The Hornby 9F, absolutely wonderful, gorgeous looking loco, let down by its performance, otherwise that would have been in the top 5 too. The last two I want to mention are the Bachmann Precedent, which is just a monumental loco. Too expensive, I think, didn't get such a good value score. If it did, it would certainly have been here. And the same is true of the Bachmann 812, one of the most beautiful locos I've ever reviewed. High quality, decent runner, everything was good, but again, quite unreasonably expensive, which prevented them from getting good value scores. Anyway, those are the best and some of my favourite locos of 2022. It's been another amazing year for locomotives, and honestly it's just left me thirsty for more. Can't wait to see what we get in 2023. Anyway, please do comment down below, let me know what you thought about my top 5 and the others. Are there any that you wish that I'd mentioned that I didn't? What are your top 5 of the year? Please do have a think and let me know. For now though, thank you so much for watching, have a great festive period. I'm just saying this sort of stuff all the time now, and I'll catch you very soon. Alright, cheers folks, take care.